beautiful beings, welcome back to Shelter in the Storm with A Course in Miracles, Lesson 46. Okay, we're continuing on with part 6 of chapter 3, Judgment and the Authority Problem. So let me just backtrack by a few lines and we'll just get to that one page. The strain of constant judgment is virtually intolerable. It is curious that an ability so debilitating will be so deeply cherished. Yet if you wish to be the author of reality, you will insist on holding on to judgment. You will also regard judgment with fear, believing that it will someday be used against you. This belief can exist only to the extent that you believe in the efficacy of judgment as a weapon of defense for your own authority. God offers only mercy. Your words should reflect only mercy, because that is what you have received, and that is what you should give. Justice is a temporary expedient, or an attempt to teach you the meaning of mercy. It is judgmental only because you are capable of injustice. I have spoken of different symptoms, and at that level there is almost endless variation. There is, however, only one cause for all of them: the authority problem. This is the root of all evil. Every symptom the ego makes involves a contradiction in terms, because the mind is split between the ego and the Holy Spirit, so that whatever the ego makes is incomplete and contradictory. This untenable position is the result of the authority problem, which, because it accepts the one inconceivable thought as its premise, can produce only ideas that are inconceivable. The issue of authority is really a question of authorship. When you have an authority problem, it is always because you believe you are the author of yourself and project your delusion onto others. You then perceive the situation as one in which others are literally fighting you for your authorship. This is the fundamental error of all those who believe they have usurped the power of God. This belief is very frightening to them, but hardly troubles God. He is, however, eager to undo it, not to punish his children, but only because he knows that it makes them unhappy. God's creations are given their true authorship, but you prefer to be anonymous when you choose to separate yourself from your author. Being uncertain of your true authorship, you believe that your creation was anonymous. This leaves you in a position where it sounds meaningful to believe that you created yourself. The dispute over authorship has left such uncertainty in your mind that it may even doubt whether you really exist at all. Only those who give over all desire to reject can know that their own rejection is impossible. You have not usurped the power of God, but you have lost it. Fortunately, to lose something does not mean that it has gone. It merely means that you do not remember where it is. Its existence does not depend on your ability to identify it or even to place it. It is possible to look on reality without judgment and merely know that it is there. Okay, let's go over to lesson 46. God is the love in which I forgive. God does not forgive because he has never condemned. God does not forgive because he has never condemned. And there must be condemnation before forgiveness is necessary. Forgiveness is the great need of this world, but that is because it is a world of illusions. Those who forgive are thus releasing themselves from illusions, while those who withhold forgiveness are binding themselves to them. As you condemn only yourself, so do you forgive only yourself. Yet, although God does not forgive, his love is nevertheless the basis of forgiveness. Fear condemns, and love forgives. Forgiveness thus undoes what fear has produced, returning the mind to the awareness of God. For this reason, forgiveness can truly be called salvation. It is the means by which illusions disappear. Today's exercises require at least 3 full 5-minute practice periods, and as many shorter ones as possible. Begin the longer practice periods by repeating today's idea to yourself, as usual. Close your eyes as you do so, and spend a minute or two in searching your mind for those whom you have not forgiven. It does not matter how much you have not forgiven them. You have forgiven them entirely or not at all. Excuse me. If you are doing the exercises well, you should have no difficulty in finding a number of people you have not forgiven. It is a safe rule that anyone you do not like is a suitable subject. Mention each one by name and say, God is the love in which I forgive you, Mary or whoever. The purpose of the first phase of today's practice periods is to put you in a position to forgive yourself. After you have applied the idea to all those who have come to mind, tell yourself, God is the love in which I forgive myself. Then devote the remainder of the practice period to adding related ideas such as, God is the love with which I love myself. God is the love in which I am blessed. The form of the application may vary considerably, but the central idea should not be lost sight of. You might say, for example, I cannot be guilty because I am a son of God. I have already been forgiven. No fear is possible in a mind beloved of God. There is no need to attack because love has forgiven me. The practice period should end, however, with a repetition of today's idea as originally stated. The shorter practice periods may consist either of a repetition of the idea for today in the original or in a related form, as you prefer. Be sure, however, to make more specific applications if they are needed. They will be needed at any time during the day when you become aware of any kind of negative reaction to anyone, present or not. In that event, tell him silently, God is the love in which I forgive. love that lesson. I love most of them. Okay, guys, let's do Jesus commentary. For God is the love in which I forgive. Lesson 46. Whoops. I hope you could see it. You are blessed beings. Indeed. I am that one you know as Jesus. Forgiveness, as the path to your salvation, lays the foundation of the teachings in A Course in Miracles. Many of you in this world practice a way of forgiveness not in alignment with this course's particular truth, based on the non-dualistic thought that there exists only love. Love flows or is blocked, whether you know it or not. You are all one. Non-dualism means you are not divided. The practice of forgiveness in the dualistic world differs from the practice of forgiveness we teach here, and it is important to bring it to mind early in your learning. In the dualistic world, you see people who have committed sins. Maybe they robbed you, betrayed you, or cheated you. Over time, you get so sick of hating them that you decide to forgive them of their sins. They still did those terrible things, and you think they're bad people. But eventually, the suffering of judgment can wear you down, and you might forgive. Many people don't ever forgive anything. They take their resentments to the grave and will have to deal with them in another incarnation. That is indeed so. Your reincarnational journey is one of many opportunities to do this work. We encourage you to do this work now. Why? Because now is the time. It is the end of the spiritual season. There is an escalating energy permeating all that is. It seeks you to remove from your mind all illusions. And that is what forgiveness does. It removes from your mind the illusion that others are separate from you. You are good, they are bad. You are innocent, they are guilty. These are all illusions. In true forgiveness, as it is described in A Course in Miracles, you realize you are all one. You are actors in a dream, playing your parts, the good guys and the bad guys. In truth, you are all connected. When you pass over, you will see that you assigned these tasks to the bad guys in your play. So why attack them? Why judge them? Why call them bad names when in fact you brought them into manifestation through your desire for separation? Just the same, you have a desire for reunification of mind, as well as body and spirit, with all that is. It is your destiny to reunify yourself so that you do not need to suffer anymore in this place of guilt, shame, death, and unforgiveness. Those are a lot of words for today's lesson. But we want you to understand that forgiveness does not mean an act did not happen in human terms. You must look at yourself in human terms. If somebody is a rapist, you don't want to hang out with that person. But it is important you forgive any trespasses perpetrated against you. Once again, you must treat yourself as a human and keep yourself safe. And that also means you must forgive yourself. You must forgive the foolish decisions You'll start again. You must forgive the foolish decisions you've made in the past and the unloving things you've said and done, because you didn't know any better. You must, in fact, forgive yourself to have a clean slate now, today, and choose love. There is no consequence for not choosing love, for it is not real in God's eyes. It is not real in love's eyes. Love is all there is in love's eyes. Those shadows, spaces, and dark patches that demonstrate the unloving behaviours you have participated in are nothing to God, because love is all that exists in non-dualistic teachings. I am that one you know as Jesus. I love all of you regardless of what you have done, what you have said, how you dress, how much you weigh, how much money you have, or where you live. It does not matter. You are all beloved. You must remember that. We will see you again tomorrow. Namaste, wonderful ones. Until then.